up my share, so those that are on Twitter and Facebook can join as well. As always, it is wine time. Anyone who knows me knows that wine time happens a lot. Just closing up the Facebook. No, it's not going to Twitter. Anyway, that doesn't matter. It seems to be that Thursday afternoons I get to a point that I just, I'm over it. And today is one of those days. So I learnt, regardless of how nice you are to people, how you think, yeah, I can help them, I can, I'll put everything aside. I won't worry about, what's happened in the past. I'll start afresh every single day. And then they come at you and attack you. And you just think, well, that's it, done. And of course I'm a nice enough person that I will go back and say to them, let's do this again, let's try. But I'm just at the point this week that I'm just over it. So it's Thursday, 2:51 in the PM here in Sydney, Australia is how we pronounce it. And g'day, I know my American friends like to say good day, but it's just a good day. So there's something for all of you in the Northern Hemisphere to practice. Oh, I need this wine. I've been home for about 20 seconds and it was a countdown to when I'd be home today because it has just been a very long day. But I'm home now, so saying hello to everybody. There is a couple of videos coming up on Friday. I think I have another Creepy Santa video going up. Don't hold me to that. I'm pretty sure it is a Creepy Santa. And I think next week, which is Christmas, which is the week before Christmas, there'll be another Creepy Santa too. I just did 2 little short ones. It's this time of year. Everyone's busy. Everyone's crazy. I mean, the last Creepy Santa one I did last week or the week before was about 3 or 4 minutes long, but the next 2 are about 1:50 long, so they're actually quite short. Because everyone's busy and I don't want to take up your time. I love doing the creepy vintage. I absolutely adore it. I have a thing for how things change in time. I find it fascinating that there is things like we had a major crime here in 1986, the Anita Cobby slaying, which some of you can go and check out. But at the time it was like on page 29 of the newspaper, things like that. But by the time they went to trial, that they're actually it was a gang rape case, and they ended up killing her. But by the time it got to court, it was massive, like the biggest case in Australia's history kind of thing. But going back and looking at the research now, it barely made a blip on the radar of crime. So it was actually quite incredible to see how things change over time, which is why I like all these creepy vintage videos. I find it amazing how even things like we like films, but back then when we first watched them we thought, yeah, that was okay, but later on when you're watching it you think, oh, this is the best film ever. Believe it or not, I was reading a magazine, Don't Ask Me Why, from 1991 the other day, and I found a review of Silence of the Lambs, which anyone who knows me knows how important that film and that book is to my life. And they were given a B-. I think The Mask got a B+, and saying that it really wasn't worth viewing, and if people wanted to see the movie, well, it's slow and it's boring and there's not much violence, and why would someone go and see this? Whereas now it's like top 10 best films of all time, went on to win all the Oscars and things like that. So I think sometimes it's about what happens over time rather than what happens up front. So which gets me back to the thing about that I really like doing creepy vintage, because things that back then looked harmless and were fine and were happy, looking back in hindsight, we've all become jaded by internet and things like that. You see these videos and these photos and things like that, and we all just assume that it is creepy and that there was something untoward about it and things like that. So it's actually quite amazing. And so things I think, oh, looks a bit creepy, but really if you analyse it, it was actually quite happy and lovely and sweet and innocent. It's just that through time, when we've all changed, they can sometimes be a bit creepy to watch in the background. Cheers again. So yeah, as I said, there's a couple of creepy Santa videos coming up. I do have 2 others that are already ready to go. One is Famous Last Words of Female Killers number 2, which I did number 1 a couple of weeks ago. And there is a second video that I've done, and do you think I can work out what it is? New Year's Murders, I think. Oh no! See, I forgot that one. I have on Christmas Day, I have a video coming on Christmas Day, which will be on Christmas Day murders. So, believe it or not, there was lots and lots and lots, and I like to keep it at about 5 or 6 cases. So I think I put 5 cases in that of killings that happen on Christmas Day. So that's a happy Christmas to everyone, a truly disturbing Christmas, as I like to say. So that is coming on Christmas Day. And I have one I'm working on of New Year's Day, but I haven't actually done that yet. So it's half done because I have enough cases, but it's about going through and just working on that. The Christmas Day one though, it was so easy to get it, and that's really horrible. I thought it would be a bit strange. I was actually going to do it just on people who killed people dressed as Santa, and I had about 7 or 8 cases for that, but I end up wanting to do this other one, so I might do another one on Christmas Day murders for next year and upload it and schedule that for when that happens. Shout out to those that are watching. Thanks for watching. Thanks for visiting me. I know in the Northern Hemisphere it's probably 2 AM, so I don't think there'll be a lot of people over there, but there's a couple of people watching, so thank you for that. I think the live stream's going well. I'm not quite sure. I know I have an Aussie accent. I've had a couple of people say they can't understand my English accent, but I'm Aussie, so please bear with me with this. I also have a stutter, in case you didn't notice, which is why sometimes the videos are very painful for me to do, which is why I don't do a lot of voiceovers. But I'm getting a new microphone for Christmas, and I think it should help me a bit with the sound, because I've been recording the sound currently on my mobile phone and uploading it to the videos, and then once it uploads again to YouTube, it just seems to all mess up. So the plan is to play with that a bit more after Christmas. So I didn't want to get too far ahead with my videos, because I knew I was getting the microphone. Sorry, I'm frazzled. It is Friday. No, I have no idea. It is Thursday afternoon here in Sydney, and it is hot as outside. Now I'm going to say it's about 35 degrees Celsius here. I would say that's probably about 90 degrees Fahrenheit for those that use Fahrenheit. So I'm not quite sure. I'm sure someone will correct me. I know that 40 degrees here is 100 degrees there. So I'm thinking it's about 90 for about 35 degrees. It is humid outside. We've had rain the last couple of nights, so that's made everything steamy. And I shouldn't be drinking because it is so steamy outside. But it's been a long week, and next week is slightly longer. I'm doing my first dance concert. Yes, this body is dancing in hot pants nonetheless, next Tuesday night. So first dance concert I've done since I'm not even going to go there, a long time ago, let's say that. So that's a bit scary, but so thrilling at the same time. So I like to challenge myself, and one of my New Year's resolutions for 2015 was to do a YouTube channel, and I am so happy with those that are watching and viewing and giving me feedback and giving me ideas of other videos and everything. I really, really, really appreciate it. I cannot believe how lovely people are. They far outweigh the yucky people by like 1,000 to 1, so it makes it so worth it. The first couple of weeks I thought it was a bit yuck. I had a lot of, how dare you, you're disgusting, you should be raped, and all that sort of awful stuff, and it really got me down. But really that's died off. I don't feed it, I don't comment, and the love I've had since then has been absolutely fantastic, so I'm really, really happy, and I just love my viewers. I won't call you fans because I don't know if you're fans, but you watch, so yeah, I call you viewers. I don't think I have the right to call you fans, but thank you those that do watch, and a lot of you guys will watch this as a recording later. So, I say I don't want to go over 10 minutes, but I've just hit 10 minutes, so I hope everyone's okay, everyone's watching, and you're enjoying the videos. Please give me feedback on what you'd like to see, because I have no idea what you want to see. So sometimes I think, I don't know what to do, so I'll do an additional version of something I've done previously. So because there's lots of information out there, so I do try and get, if I am doing one video and I find that I've got lots of extra, I will often sort of bookmark it to come back to later and scan in copies and stuff like that, because sometimes it's easier to do it later, do it at the same time rather than come back later and say, I think I saw that somewhere. So it's a lot easier to do that. I also find that I use YouTube sometimes as a way to do dates and things like that as well. I've got lots of videos that are set for certain times of year. You know, there's I've got a Jeff Dahmer one I'm working on for July. July for next year. I was hoping to get it done this year, but I just didn't get there. So I wanted to do some around anniversary dates. I did do a Columbine one, and I did a Oklahoma City one purely because of the dates, because Columbine was 20 years, and I can't remember what. No, I can't remember what the anniversary was of Oklahoma City. I like to do things around the dates. I think it's important to remember the tragedies and hope that they aren't repeated. Unfortunately, they are, especially these days. I mean, the word terrorism was not a word that we knew or used, and then Oklahoma City was a massive terrorist attack and homegrown terrorist attack. And to then have, the following year, I think it was, that September 11 happened, that still affects all of us regardless of how far away we are. It's a worldwide issue, and even to this day it gives me chills just thinking about what happened on September 11. So I think there's things like that we need to remember so we don't repeat. But between us all, we need to stand up and fight. We need to know what's happening. We need to do and fix what's broken. But we'll see. We can all own and do what we can do. Being down in Australia, we're very isolated. However, today I read an article about a man being arrested 2 or 3 streets away from my own house, who was planning a terrorist attack. So not in my town is no longer something I can say. It's massively global, and we need to watch each other. We need to friend each other. We need to believe that we're one race rather than all these different races and religions. And I'm going off on a tangent that I don't think I'm educated enough to make these sorts of statements, so I will leave it there. Back onto crime, like serial killers and mass murders and everything, which is more my forte. Someone asked me the other day what my education is. I have studied criminology and psychology and criminal law, and I'm currently doing a master's, which takes up a lot of my time away from. I work full-time as well as do YouTube, and I'm up to book 15 or something. I actually got an email. See, I just keep talking and change my ideas. I got an email today from my editor for my next book, which I actually wrote in 2014. I thought it was going to come out earlier this year, but it hasn't come out yet. That's called Rope. I thought it'd be out by June at the very latest, but it is still in editorial mode, I guess is the one way to put it. It hasn't even gone to graphics or anything yet. I sent them a whole stack of pictures. I don't know if the pictures will make it into the book. Again, they're actually more vintage photos because the book's called Rope, the story of the hanged. It is about hangings from across the globe. there's a bit of history in there as well, but I wanted to focus on individual cases because there's some really interesting cases of hangings out there. People that were hanged with animals, people that were hanged upside down and up the right way and left and right and flung over things, and there's a couple of animals that got hanged for crimes against humans and things like that. So it's actually quite an interesting book, but as I said, it's been delayed. But I got an email from my editor today. She's back on track, having a look at it as of today, so hopefully she likes my last set of notes I put into it. Often when you get to this point in a book, the editors will say, I want you to add more here, I want you to take out this, I think this needs to be discussed a bit further and things like that. So, but I was a bit brutal and pulled out a couple of stories that I thought didn't work, or things I've done previously in other, sorry, just scratching my foot, stories I've done in other books that I think it's not worth repeating because I've done it a few times. Cheers again. But sorry, I swallowed wrong. I obviously have to drink more. But yeah, so that's back with her, and she's going to go through it again. I think I'm going to have some more work to do on it, but I won't be able to get to it now until about February. Which is scary that I'm already booking it in time for February, because between now and then I have about 1,000 million things to do. And I go back to uni in February as well. So it's so weird. I've just started this degree, and I'm already looking up my cap and gown to see what colours I wear. I don't know why, but I just have this fantasy about my cap and gown. I think it's an important part of the role. I'm up for pomp and ceremony. I believe in tradition and things like that. In case you hadn't noticed by all my vintage things that I like to do. Anyway, I'm up to 16, almost 17 minutes on this, and I have been just talking to myself. Essentially, there's a couple of people there, so shout outs to those that are watching. I can't see your names because I don't have the screen that tells me I've got the broadcast screen open rather than the YouTube screen, so I'm not quite sure what's being shown on YouTube. I don't know how far delayed it is, so which means I also cannot say something to the chat screen. Hang on, let me go to the other screen, and if I say something, hello viewers, let's see if anyone is there to respond. Oh, now I've lost which page, see, because that's better. I'm watching the live one rather, because YouTube is about 3 or 4 seconds behind, I think. So, and I've learnt now to start talking as soon as I press stream on the other one, because it seems to lag a bit and it looks a bit weird that I'm staring at a blank screen for the first couple of seconds as YouTube catches up. I think that's it for today. I just wanted to do a bit of a live stream. I haven't done one for a couple of weeks. I do enjoy them. I think they're fun. I'd love to interact with a lot more people this way. What I should do is actually get some notes and everything together, I think, and just actually do like a Q&A. I've actually, that reminds me, I have decided, apparently when you do YouTube channels, you're supposed to do like a 50 things about me sort of thing. So I've started that. I can come up with 10. So I've got a long way to go before I get that all up and going. One of my top things is that I have a collection of heads, so I look forward to showing everyone my collection of heads. I will let your minds think about that for a little bit longer before I show that to you, but that is one of the things I have already got ready to go on my video for 50 things about me. I think they're just going to be random things, you know, things like that. I love trees, which is probably why I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Christmas trees set and decorated. I have like one for my family, and then I've got another tree set up that I put other presents under, and then I've got another tree set up for presents for extended family. Then I've got another little Christmas tree that's got all special ornaments on it, and then I've got a little tiny, hang on, let me grab it. Then I've got a little tiny Christmas tree in my room, which is a bit sad. It's certainly seen better life than it's got my hair in it. It's seen better days. I've probably had this one about, I have no idea, 12 years. So one year I did a blue Christmas instead. I go through fantasies and stages of doing all different things, and this is what I did one year. So it stuck around. It had far more decorations. As you can see, there's like no decorations here at all, so it's a bit bizarre. But it's badly covered in my hair. I molt really badly. I am always losing hair. I do not know how I have a hair left on my body, because of the amount that it's gross. By the amount that I actually molt. Like, you know, I put my hair in a ponytail and I can do that, and I have like 5 hairs. So let's see if I can drink this time without choking. I made these presents. I'll show you these. Yes, if you're a Pinterest freak like I am, every so often I'll get on and I'll do some bits and pieces. So this is a sugar scrub. So it's made with sugar, coconut oil, food colouring and peppermint essence. So you can essentially eat it. And I kind of did. We made about 5 or 6 jars like this. But you could eat it and it's actually quite yummy. But it's actually more of a soapy scrub, but there's no soap. It's more about sloughing the skin and moisturising what's left. So they're very, very cute. It uses a lot of sugar. I thought I would use half as much as I did, but it was actually quite surprising. So it was a bit cute, but we made these yesterday. So to give to, you know, those bits and pieces, people that you have to give things to, well, you don't have to, but those people that you give gifts to and you just want to do a bit more sort of love. So this is what I did. So these are sugar scrubs. I've done a couple of other bits and pieces. I made these really cute reindeer nose packs. If you look on Pinterest, you'll be able to see those too. I'm a bit of one of those people. I like Pinterest. I've done about 20 things from Pinterest this year, and this was one of them that I did. So it was very but yeah, as I said, you use a lot of sugar and coconut oil, more than I thought I would use, because once the two combine, it sort of like collapses a bit, so there's not so much. So but certainly worth a cute little try. I need to take the label off that too. But oh goodness, it's 22 minutes. I didn't think I'd go this long. But I am ready for Christmas. I have everything I need to wrapped and under the tree. So now I start looking at Christmas dinner, Christmas Eve dinner. Oh, someone's just going past my house with a massive box while he's riding a bike. That is not going to last well. But anyway, sorry, that was a bit bizarre. I'm ready for Christmas except for Christmas food. So I do a Christmas Eve thing for my close family. So I don't know what I'm doing yet. I know that I'm doing a chocolate fountain though. Here in Australia we still do roasts and we still do all the traditional Christmas fare. I'll be doing a maple syrup baked ham, which is what I always do, and some turkey and some chicken and roast veggies and roast beetroot and asparagus and all that sort of stuff. Pardon me. It's the wine, I promise. And then Christmas morning we do like toasted ham sandwiches and eggs and bacon and as much ham as we can get in basically. And then lunch, I'm not sure what I'm doing this year. Last year I did the big traditional roast again for lunch, but this year I'm thinking of doing like blinis and crostinis and like lots of finger food, because it's my extended family coming for lunch, so I'm not quite sure yet. So this is just a random video. I feel weird doing this, but anyway. But we'll see. I don't know what I'm doing yet. I don't like salmon, and traditionally blinis have salmon on them. But we'll see. I don't eat seafood at all, except for tuna, which I don't think really constitutes eating seafood. But that's all I eat when it comes to fish. But we'll see. Christmas night we go to my parents' house, so again we'll get more food. So it's basically 24 hours of massive amounts of food, as well as lots of presents and everything. I have everything ready for Christmas with presents. As I said, everything's wrapped in under the tree, purely because these 2 weeks leading up to Christmas, there's presentation nights and dance concerts and all this sort of stuff in my family that takes up a lot of time. So if I'm not done by this time each year, it's a very late Christmas Eve night, and I really don't want to do that. So that's why I need to get it done. There was one year that we spent the night in the dark on Christmas Eve making a swing set, and I vowed I'd never do that again. So it's all about being with family on Christmas Eve and not doing ridiculous things like that on Christmas Eve. I think the anticipation of Christmas Day is far more important than the gifts and everything. I think it's that Christmas spirit. I just, I love doing presents, and I love buying gifts, and I love seeing people's faces with joy. Well, I hope it's joy when they open their presents. But really, it's more about the love and the family and the togetherness and just, well, it's just the spirit of Christmas. So I think that's far more important. My family might disagree because I'm a bit of a stress head on Christmas Day, because I've been planning it for 6 months, and I totally understand that. But it's one of those things. I am a bit of a stress head. I'm one of those people that needs their gold star. I strive to achieve everything I set out to do. So I have meltdowns when things don't go right. Which is, I think, where I started this video saying that I was nice to people and they were a bit crappy back. They burnt bridges, and I've learnt that I have to play that game, unfortunately. So when they ask me to do something, it's now no, because they really need to learn that they can't treat people like that. So it's quite sad that people are like that, but that's what happens. Which is why I've decided, there's so many lovely people out there, and there's so many people that are worth being lovely to, so that's who I spend my time with. So anyway, I should get this finished. I know that there's rumblings in my house of people doing busy things and they want to get things going. No, I thought there was a reflection in my painting on the wall, but it's not. I'd love to show you guys my heads, but I'm going to save that for the video. But I do have a collection of heads. Do you know how many I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, no, about 9, I think. There's something blocking 2 of them, I think, so I don't know if it's 8 or 9 or 10, but it's something like that. So to me, anything more than 3 is a collection. I don't have many collections. I used to, but I only have a few collections now. I'm not a hoarder. I promise I'm not a hoarder. But anyway, so I just thought I would say hello and thanks for watching, and thank you for watching my videos. It is just, I never thought in a million years I'd get to 1 million views, and I'm now almost at 1.2 million, which is just like absolutely mind-blowing. I was looking forward to 1,000 hits in total, and to be at 1.2 million is just thank you 1 million times thank you. And keep watching, there's plenty more to come. And I may not see you before Christmas, but hopefully I will. If not, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, which I think we're up to day 5 in Hanukkah. Happy Kwanzaa, which is coming, and see you soon. Bye.